It is so great catching up with the UFC women's flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko, who's going to be defending her title UFC 275 June 11th. Valentina, how are you today?
Doing good. Hello, James. Yeah, long time no see, right?
Yes, I know. Well, you haven't fought in a while, so that's why we haven't done one of these. But let's start first with the fact that you're going to be fighting in Singapore. Just how excited are you? I know you love traveling. That's got to be a really cool place to get to fight at.
Yeah, definitely. It's something very exciting to fight in Singapore. It's kind of like very far from where I am right now. And the other part is kind of like during the fight week, you are not able to see much because you are concentrating on the fight itself and like all your mind only on the Saturday night. So it's kind of like difficult to go and explore the country. But I heard so much about Singapore, how beautiful it is, and I'm very excited to travel there.
I figured you'd want to stay a little bit later after the fight. Are you not doing that? Are you going to come right back, or what's the plan after the fight?
So my sister Antonina, she's supposed to fight in May, but they reschedule her fight for July.
Oh, that's right.
July.
So you got to go back and help her. That makes sense. Okay, yeah.
So
Courtney Casey.
I will continue my training camp. So, but probably we will do it somewhere in Asia. So it's going to be a little travel as well. But it's nothing for sure yet. We will see how it's play out, everything.
We talked about it off the top there. We haven't done an interview in a while, and you haven't fought in a bit. Was this the right amount of time off, or were you trying to have your next title defense a little bit sooner than this?
In general, I wanted to have it a little bit sooner, but this is how it's came this date in Singapore. So I cannot say that it's something that I'm not happy with it because I'm really happy with. Yes, at the beginning I wanted to fight sooner, but I think June in general it's a good date for the fight. Defense.
And talk about your opponent here, Taila Santos, 19-1 record, really cool because she's only lost the one fight. How familiar were you with her before accepting the matchup?
Before the accepting the match, it was kind of like briefly seeing episodes of her fight here and there. I know that we fought on the same card, but it's definitely not something that you're gonna watch during when you're preparing for your fight. And yeah, I heard about her. She's strong. I heard something from like people around, but nothing like putting an eye as like future contender. No, it wasn't before the paper was signed.
Now that you have had a chance to sort of research her as an opponent, how do you feel like stylistically you match up against her in this fight?
Oh, definitely. It's kind of like every challenger, it's the best. It's came to the place where are they right now not by the like luck or something like that, because they were working hard, and this is something that you have to consider preparing for the fight. But in general, as usual, as every time I'm getting ready for my fight, for my defenses, like with all my heart, with everything that I have. I'm not underestimating my opponents, but not I'm looking at them like, wow, it's something like gonna be too much. No, I just take it very calm, take it very seriously, analyzing good and bad sides and what I have to do, what I have to be careful with. And as I'm saying, like in this level of competition, there is no weak fighters. There is no fighters they are weak in some part of their game. They are complete like MMA fighters, universal fighters. They know they're like things the best in the business. That's why you have to take it seriously.
In terms of training camp, you mentioned Antonina's fight was supposed to be this month, and then they moved the fight. So how has camp look? Like, I'm sure once that fight was rescheduled, the focus was on your fight. Was that kind of how you went about it?
Yeah, it was a little injury what she had. That's why they had to reschedule it to like make it heal and like move it a little bit after. Yeah, but initially it was having training camp for all of us together. Actually she was supposed to fight end of April, and then I will have to start my like for my training camp, and now we switched our roles. I have my final, and she's kind of like getting ready for her training camp to start.
Okay, that makes sense. Who have you had a chance to work with? Is there anything different for this camp in terms of training partners, or how have you structured things?
After we came back from Kyrgyzstan, from my country, home country, and it was amazing trip, and we spent there like about 4 months visiting family, friends, and amazing training partners, amazing schools over there. So I am very happy I had chance to train there, to visit everyone. And after we came back, and here in UFC Performance Institute, we are training with a lot of like good fighters, like female fighters from different weight classes, straw weight classes, bantamweight, like everything. And definitely it's very good because they are also different. They have different not the skills, but different character of their fights.
Yeah, a good variety of training partners giving you different looks is kind of what they say, right? Like someone will be maybe a different style of fighter that maybe another training partner wouldn't be. It gives you a good variety.
And when you are switching around, you have to be able to adjust super quick. You have to adjust very fast and take your decision what tactic you will choose to get more benefits from that.
Are any of these UFC fighters? Or are they all sort of up and coming fighters that you get to work with? Who have you? Any specific names we might know that you've had a chance to work with?
Oh yeah, it's UFC fighters. It's some fighters who are not in UFC, Invicta fighters. So if for anyone who are like following my Instagram, I every time like posting pictures, so they are aware who are they.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then I imagine your corner will be exactly the same, or is that changed for this fight, or will it be the same corner?
Oh, it will be the same corner. Yes.
Okay. And then in terms of travel, like when are you getting down there like a week before to get acclimatized? Like how does that work?
Oh, like speaking about Singapore, it's completely different to Las Vegas. And I prefer to travel not just 1 week over there in advance. And like 2 weeks, it would be ideal. Or at least like train somewhere with a similar climate where it's 100 humidity in
Right,
the air.
yeah. Okay. And so that's the plan though, is you would like to go down 2 weeks before, maybe not Singapore, but at least somewhere where it's the same time zone, same climate, I would think, right?
Yeah, this is a plan, but it's kind of like not something that we are came up with 100%. We are still kind of like 5 weeks away, and we are planning on what we're gonna do. So I just want to speak it loud because when you speak about when it's not sure very loud, it's sometimes that can happen. Sometimes it's not.
Right.
I'm very like no, I better be quiet about this.
For sure. No, you're speaking it into existence. You want it to happen, and hopefully it does. And I don't blame you. So that makes sense. Back to the fight itself. How do you envision the fight playing out? I know you've been finishing a lot of your opponents, Valentina, opponents that some people felt you weren't be able to finish. How do you see this one going down? Just looking from a style perspective.
It's the same goal. It's the same, like, do everything. Because on my training, we preparing for everything. We working on every single detail. And it's when I see the moment to finish the fight, this is where I go for the finish. And this is I'm not thinking like, okay, it's going to be a knockout with a kick, knockout with a punch. No, I just making my body ready for everything. And where is the moment? I just use the moment and train my ability to see and recognize the moment.
We have a big title fight coming up this weekend in the women's strawweight division below your weight class. Rosa Namajunas, someone I know you know quite well, taking on Carla Esparza, their long-awaited rematch. I was just curious how you think that fight plays out, with Carla coming off a really nice win in her last fight, and Rose, just keeps winning. I mean, Rose has been unstoppable. How do you see that fight playing out on Saturday?
Oh, both fighters, they are amazing. Carla, she showed so good fights recently. Rose, she's getting stronger and stronger every single fight. And I see this fight definitely for Rose because I see her more skillful, more durable, just like in every aspect a little more. Yeah, and it's kind of like long way after their last fight. And Rose, she is not the same fighter as she was, especially mentally. She's way more like stronger and like determined. So yeah, I see it's gonna play out for Rose.
And I know I've asked you this before, but I know people are going to say, why didn't you ask her about it? You and Rose would never fight each other, right? You guys are good friends. I don't think that would ever happen.
This is not a goal, right? And
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to down to strong.
Well, no, I meant if she wanted to move up, because remember there was talk about Weili moving up and fighting you. Remember that was the talk like a year ago, and that obviously hasn't happened because Weili lost. But like just kind of confirming here that you probably wouldn't fight Rose if she wanted to come up.
You know, like I cannot go into her like head, and because she already before she lost to Jessica Andrade, she was mentioning like going and fight like something, do like that. So I cannot speak for her, right?
Okay.
And being a champion in flyweight, I'm willing to fight like anyone who are like put a challenge in front of me. But definitely, I consider Rose as a good friend because we spent like many. Like days training together, beating each other, and it was hard. And you know, when it's when you are like spending like in very serious trainings, you became just very good friends with a person. This is how I consider Rose, and especially like when I fought Julianna Pena back in like few years ago when I submitted her, and so she was cooking for me. She prepared some soup named borscht, Russian soup. I mean, Rose cooked it in my fight week, so it's kind of like cool relationship. And you know, when you are fight against someone, it's definitely putting you in different spot, different position. So yeah, I don't see why we have to do that, because there is still so much challengers for like both of us, for her in her weight class, for me in my weight class, and I don't know, like Juliana, Amanda, who is like over there, they cannot decide who is champion still. Yeah, but this is kind of like things what's going on right now, and I don't see why we have to fight right now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Another big fight that's actually going to be on your card is Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Weili Zhang, their rematch. Joanna's first fight since their first loss. How do you think that rematch will go? Because their first fight was very close.
Oh, I think it's the first fight. It was same 3 rounds or 5 rounds.
It was 5 rounds the first fight. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's gonna be, I think, even more explosive, and there is no this like this moment of conserving energy for live championship rounds, like fourth and fifth, right? So it's gonna be more explosive, and both fighters, they know each other, and yeah, I see that in the last fight, and I said it before, and I will say it right now. I feel that Joanna had that fight. Joanna won that, but her injury, it was looked so bad. That's why judges definitely could not just like close.
Yeah, give it to her. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But now, yeah, I think it's and especially it's happened in the last rounds. So we are cutting this last round. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a very cool fight to watch, especially people expecting the action what girls showed like last fight.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. But do you feel that Joanna will win the rematch? Do you think, you know, just kind of looking at it on paper?
You know, this is what I'm like. I go with Joanna because I like her. I like her style, and I like her pressure she's putting on her opponents, and every time being mean girl. Everyone, I like that. That's why I wish her the victory. But I also like Weili because she showed her like heart in the fights, and yeah, and it's kind of like but in this fight I go with Joanna.
Do you think there's a possibility that the loser of this fight would consider moving up to flyweight? I know you already fought Joanna at flyweight, but do you think Weili might consider moving up? I know, again, we talked about this earlier, you can't get in a fighter's head and know what they're thinking, but do you think it's a possibility? Because if one of them loses, it's going to be really hard for them to get another fight with the champ, because Rose already has 2 wins over both of them.
Yeah, I think so. If they decided, like here, flyweights door, it's every time open. I'm very happy to welcome anyone. With
Mhm.
Joanna, we already fought, and yeah, we fought 4 times, three in Muay Thai, one in
That's
UFC
right.
and MMA. Yeah, Weili, whatever she wants. I really don't care what she's thinking because yeah, whatever she come, I fight her. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, that makes sense. And kind of on that note, how many more times would you like to fight this year? Do you want to fight 2 more times? I know the focus is on your upcoming title defense, but I'm sure you'd like to keep active as well.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking about like time wise, I would like to fight about like 3 times a year
Mhm.
before the end of the year.
Okay, that makes sense. And refresh my memory, you have a couple more fights left on your contract, right? It's not coming up to an end. I would think that you have a few more fights on that contract.
Yes, exactly. I have you more.
Okay, that makes sense. And you referenced her a name there earlier, Julianna Pena. Of course, you have a win over her. I know there's a lot of interesting fights going on in your division right now, but would you consider if Julianna beats Amanda Nunes again, moving back up and fighting Julianna because you hold a win over her already?
It's doubtful that the second fight will be the same result outcome. It's very doubtful, but I like how Juliana, she's playing like mean and trying to speak bad about everyone, no matter who, like her category, not her like different promotion. She just speak about everyone. This is, I feel, a strategy for every person who wants to get attention. They are trying to bite every single person. So this is very fun to watch. And now we have what Ultimate Fighter streaming right now, so road to the rematch, and it's something interesting. Yeah, but realistically, I don't see if Amanda, she will be in the same shape as she fought Juliana first time. Yes, probably it's gonna be the same result. But if she will be in the same shape that we fought her second time, so no, there is no way.
Okay, I like the honesty there. But again, sort of leaving, there could be a possibility if Juliana, does win the title that you might go up and try and be a double champion because that would be cool, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, and it's gonna be big fight. And I very like the idea of big fights because it's cool. It's really cool. And now recently, everyone they are like, oh, this is a big fight, champion against champion. So
Yeah.
it's something to consider by the end of the year. I think it's gonna be super nice to have big match, big event for UFC, female UFC, women's UFC.
I mentioned there's a lot going on in your division. There's a new member of your division, Miesha Tate, the former bantamweight champion, has decided to move down to flyweight. She'll be taking on Lauren Murphy at UFC 276. What do you make of her making this move so late in her career?
I think it's great, especially she's mom of two children. It's amazing. It's just examples that there is no limits. Limits, it's in our heads. So it's amazing that a person could come back, have some wins, then decide to go down and fight over there. It's amazing, especially like with experience what she has, and she's very big, like fighter, like how would say. Very good fighter for flyweight division, but the other question, it's moving from bantamweight, bigger, being a bigger person. It's different to fight in flyweight. And the big question, how good she can adjust for this cut, because she is not someone. For example, me, I am a natural bantamweight. My walk weight is 135. Her walk weight is 150, not less, right? So it's different to cut weight to 125 from that weight. And Lauren, we all saw how strong is she. We saw her fights against like all contenders, how dominating she can be, how good she is in the ground. So it's not something. It's not a trouble for Lauren to go on the ground with Miesha and have battle over there. So it's no problem for her at all. So this is a challenge. Can she pass it? This is a big question, and we will see if I'm not mistaken in July.
Yes, July 2nd, International Fight Week. So she'll be taking on, well, that was going to be my question. You fought Lauren. Do you think Miesha can defeat Lauren Murphy, or do you think Lauren will win that fight?
It's a big difference. It's how cut weight will go, because cut weight is everything. If you cut bad and feel bad on the fight, you cannot move not one round. So yeah, we saw everyone how Miesha is good in bantamweight, but we didn't see how good she can be in flyweight. So this is like, I cannot answer that question because I don't know how she's gonna feel, and this is so much difference when you feel good and when you feel bad. When you feel good, you would do whatever. When you feel bad, you cannot do like even half what you could possibly do. So yeah, it's the biggest question. Let's see July. But if like whatever comes, whatever, I will be cheering for both ladies because I really admire them. I really respect both of them.
If Miesha wins that fight, do you think there's a possibility she fights you next for the title? Because, she's a former champion, and we saw Jessica Andrade just have one fight at flyweight and get her title shot as well.
I would love to, and definitely it's gonna be a main event for the pay-per-view, right? And yeah, definitely I would love this fight to make happen. So yeah, let's go, let's go.
I love it. That's great. How would you match up against Miesha, do you think, with your striking and Misha's wrestling? Like, how do you see the clash of styles going in that fight potentially?
Yes, it's kind of like potentially it's MMA. We are not speaking like striker against wrestler. No, we are speaking about MMA fighter against MMA fighter. It's all about speed, about abilities, about reactions, and everything. And yeah, I see it's the same way. Getting ready with everything you have, getting ready for the fight as good as you can. Go there, win the fight, knock your opponent out, and go away with the belt. This is a goal for every single fight.
Another name I'll throw out there that's been looking really good in your weight class, Alexa Grasso. I'm sure you saw her first round finish over Joanne Wood. Do you think she could be next if Murphy beats, I'm just talking like, hypothetically here, but if Murphy beats Miesha Tate, I don't think Murphy's going to get another shot at you. I think Alexa Grasso would be next. Is that what you're thinking as well? Again, not looking past your upcoming title defense.
Why not? Why not? And I every time very happy for the names and big names, especially coming from the amazing victories, like very good victories. So I'm very happy to welcome everyone. And yeah, Alexa, she's nice person. She's very hard worker. And yeah, if things play out like all the ways what we are speaking about, I'm happy to fight all of them. Same night, whatever. I'm very happy to fight him.
Just going to mention a few more names in your division because, again, there's so much going on right now. I want to start with Manon Fiorot. I don't know if you've seen her, the French fighter. She's been knocking out a lot of women in your division. She just beat Jennifer Maia. What do you think of her? Are you familiar with her? And if so, what do you think of her in your division?
I saw briefly their fight, and I saw looks like she has background in taekwondo, karate, also in judo. So it's like good combination, legs, distance, and throwings. Yeah, it's and she looks bigger, even bigger than Jennifer Maia. And I know how big can be Jennifer Maia for the fight. Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of like if she gonna keep the same fight all her way to the top, yeah, she can be a contender in the future. Why not? Yeah, this is the road for everyone has to climb up and show that they are deserving to fight for the title.
What about Casey O'Neill? Unfortunate news with her hurting her knee. She was supposed to take on Jessica Ai, but she's been making a lot of noise. I know she also trained at Tiger Muay Thai. What have you thought of Casey's run in the UFC so far?
I think she has things to work on to climb all the way up, and unfortunately the injury what happened, it's gonna delay her fights. And I heard, yes, that she's like I want to come back as soon as I can. But this is like the problem with injuries. Not you are dictating when you're coming back, it's injury saying when it's ready, right? And if you're trying to rush it, you just can make it worse, the injury, and it's gonna repeat and repeat, and you can forget about all your career like for a long time. That's why, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna play out for her. But yeah, she has potential, but she has a lot of things to work on.
Going to mention two more names in your division. One just fought recently, Maycee Barber. She had a pretty good win over Montana De La Rosa in her last fight. She switched camps. She's at Team Alpha Male. Did you happen to see that fight? And if so, what did you think of her performance?
I think it was very tactical for performance, and she just didn't rush, not never. She didn't like try to jump and do something too much crazy. She was like doing constant work, making her opponent tired, and Montana, she could not just adjust. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is how the fight played out, and I'm glad she came back strong and will continue make this noise. Yeah. Trying to be the youngest champion.
Well, I don't think she can now because, you know, with the year off, like she had the injuries and a couple losses. So I don't think that'll happen. But still, at least she's, you know, she rebounded, right? That was the main thing. So
at least like people speak about her, and like people like her. And now, yeah, I was hearing her post-fight interview with Daniel Cormier, and he was asking, is she more humble now? She said, yes, definitely. It's funny. It's so funny to see. You know, this is the difference. How it's a fighter who doesn't doesn't have much experience, don't know what is losses, don't know what is injuries, and how brave, how confident the fighter is. And then when more experience happened to the fighter, more things going on, more like life trouble going on, how they are changing, be more wiser, be more like careful with the words. And this is really cool to see this transformation, because yeah, sometimes you see already experienced fighter and how everything, how their answer, what they're speaking, what they're thinking, and here you have opportunity to see all the way this, how from being like too bold to the way to see how they are becoming more normal.
Okay. And someone who I think people would consider very humble and is someone that's very young, Erin Blanchfield. Have you seen her at all? This is the 22-year-old flyweight who, you know, defeated Miranda Maverick. She's had a couple nice wins in the UFC. Have you watched her at all?
I'm not sure that I'm familiar with her fights.
No problem. Yeah, her last one. I think her last one was against Miranda Maverick. If you happen to see it, but she's only 22. She's a BJJ black belt. Really humble, kind of quiet, but really skillful. I think she's someone that's really going to make some noise in your division here soon. So.
It's amazing. Yeah, more bright fighters, more skillful fighters. It's good. It's good. Building up future for the division. It's good.
Two more quick questions. I know we're over time here. I wanted to get your take. You know, you're someone that really carries themselves professionally, and you know, you live the martial arts lifestyle. I got to get your take. What did you make of Jorge Masvidal attacking Colby Covington after their fight?
Oh my God, it was crazy. It was like, from one part, it was like, yeah, it can happen. It's alive, right? Two fighters fight like against each other because someone was speaking too much personal stuff. And that's it. I think that's okay. But I'm not like going to the police department and like saying all these things put in like trouble for other person. I'm not that kind of person, so I'm not supporting this behavior. And I would consider, like, if you have like problems or something going on against this particular person, and it was not too bad, it was just like what, tooth, like one punch, 1-2 punch, like scratches in the watches, like it's not bad, it's not too much danger or whatever. So I would not do that things. I would keep it like very personal and keep it out of the government stuff. So I don't consider this is a good move.
Right. Okay. I figured as much. Yeah. I don't think you're going to be, we're going to see any footage of you attacking, any of your opponents or anything. So there we go. And just my last question. I think I've asked you this before, but I wanted to ask you again. All these MMA fighters, Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, they all want to take boxing fights. You're a great striker. Is that something that would ever interest you, especially with the fight we had on the weekend with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano? Any interest in going in the boxing ring?
I think about boxing, it's great sport, and especially like boxers, they are like so good in what they are doing, and I really like boxing. But I feel that in the modern days, like fighting in the boxing, it's kind of like it's not gonna bring that much attention. That it's UFC fight, that it's MMA fight, because now the sport number one is MMA. Yes, you have few names like just like 1 or 2 names that really like all people speaking about. I mean, in the boxing, but that's it, no more. So this is kind of like go there and fight one fight. Yeah, why not? But if we are like speaking about right, Canelo, yes, he is like a big name. So yeah, but for female fighters, yeah, even like ladies like Katie Taylor and Serrano, they fought amazing fight, and they are I really respect like what they did, and like the way what they did. Katie Taylor, she's so long time in boxing, and she's fighting a lot, but female boxing, it's kind of like there is huge gap between MMA and boxing. I mean, female boxing and MMA. So I consider like why I should do like step back in my career and do it. And I had like so much experience in professional boxing and Olympic boxing, so I know what is that, and I know it's not a big problem to fight there. It's just like you go training, spend training camp adjusting to your like skill wise to get this rhythm of boxing match. But why you have to limit yourself? Why this idea of being universal fighters, that you can fight with no you can do whatever to get the victory. It's a real fight. It's very skillful. It's considering that you have to spend a lot of time thinking about technique, about strategy and everything. Why you have to limit yourself? Why you have to go and step back and say, no, this is I won't do. This is no, just hands. And no, I don't see it making any sense.
Valentina, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time. We're really looking forward to this UFC 275, June 11th. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors or any social media you'd like to plug, as always, I'll give you the last word.
Thank you, James. It was very nice to speaking to you as always. And yeah, just getting ready for that fight, for that title defense. And as always, going strong, getting strong, and till the end, till the victory. See you June 11th. In Singapore.